First thing we're going to do before we start this review is we're going to start the vehicle up. Wow, what an event. It really is an event. You see those headlights doing their dance. You have this fiber optic or RGB lighting throughout the entire cabin going and greeting you, and you have different sounds going on. You can even program different other effects that come on for it. So it's quite spectacular. And that's one thing I really love about doing electric vehicle reviews, especially in the wintertime, is that I can film this stuff and have it running and still have heat. And it's not burning a lot of fuel and it's not really loud. So that's a big bonus right now. So where do we start here? Well, let's just start right up front here. This is a 56-inch Hyper screen. So you have this one continuous piece of glass. This is not just normal glass, this is very special glass, and in behind that glass you have a 12.3-inch display for my instrument cluster. That's operated through my left side of the steering wheel, and then on the right side of the steering wheel, it's operating this large 17.8-inch OLED display. And those are the controls here, or it's easy enough just to use your hands. It's a touch screen, but if you don't want fingerprints, you can use this. I just like to use a touch screen because it's right there. And beside that, you also have a passenger screen that's 12.3 inches as well. So screens everywhere. We also have a head-up display. By the way, this 17.8-inch display is standard on the EQS 580. If you go down to the 450, it's available as an option. Otherwise, you get the 12.1-inch display. It's more of a vertical display on that one. You can get it as an option though. Let's get back to the main attraction, that 17.8-inch OLED display in front of us here. It is the latest in the MBUX system. You have wireless Apple CarPlay, wireless Android Auto. You'll notice that these lights are animated, but not just for looks. Watch this. If I control my heating here, if I hit to heat it up, you can see the red continue on only on the driver's side. If I do it for the passenger side, same thing. If I lower it down, we have blue. It's pretty cool. Also, it will also work for warning symbols if you're going to be in a collision, or if you signal and you're going to, there's someone beside you, it's going to turn red here. So it works as a double function. Very, very cool. A lot of what I'm showing you, it just doesn't really do it justice. It's just really spectacular, and the way that it looks and the way it feels. You have this beautiful Napa blue leather here, this walnut ship deck type of finish. You can get walnut, you can get different types of woods, and that's all included. It's all standard unless you go carbon fiber. That's going to cost you a little bit extra. We tested the EQS Sedan not too long ago, and it had the same system. However, I really didn't play with it that much. In this SUV, I have spent a little bit more time in it. And I actually started playing and going to comfort mode with energizing comfort. And this is kind of cool. Okay, so if I go here, I got freshness, warmth, vitality. It's kind of cool. If I go to vitality, for instance, if I hit driver, now it's going to play. I'm not sure if you can hear that. Yes, I'm sure you can hear that. So it's kind of like we're in a spa. This is like a spa on 4 wheels. It's pretty wild. And you can just sit back and relax, and you have these lights going here. Mercedes-Benz has always been at the forefront in terms of safety innovations. They have so many patents. They've been the first for so many safety advancements in the automotive industry. They're also concerned of your well-being as well, not just for the safety in an accident, not just for being relaxed in your spa on 4 wheels, but your air quality as well. So this one here, it measures the exterior air quality. It also measures your interior air quality. There's a triple HEPA filter. This is the stuff that hospitals use to basically filter out all the contaminants. You have an ionizer here, and of course you have that fragrance that you can disperse in the cabin as well. You can pretty well live in here. You know, some people say, hey, this costs just as much as a house. Well, you could live in here as long as you had some electricity. Even though this EQS sounds like it has everything, well, there are a few things on my wish list. First of all, Yes, it has great quick heating seats, ventilated as well. Awesome heated steering wheel, especially in cold winter days like it is right now. But there is no heat on the side panels at all. Middle console has no heat, nor the armrest. And I think it really should have it for this type of vehicle. Next thing is, depending on where you park, you know, if you're parallel parking, or in our case, I'm parking very close to the side of my driveway. This does have the auto mirror tilt down, but only on the passenger side. So if I select it to the right side, when I put it in reverse, it's going to tilt down. That's pretty common. But on some other vehicles, for instance, on my Acura, if I go and hit the left side, if I put it into reverse, that's going to tilt down. Some vehicles will actually tilt both of them down. I've tried everywhere and I can't find anything in the menu to tilt that driver mirror down when you're backing up. So that would be something else on the wish list. And one other thing that we've noticed, we had it in the new Genesis G90, I've seen it in the Porsche Panamera or the Audi A7, is having that the door hinges with no detent. So for instance, we're on a hill right now. So if I open this door, okay, I'm going to push here, and there, we have hit the first detent. And then the second one is here, okay? On some other premium vehicles, you can go and leave it wherever you want. So right now, if I go in the middle of those two detents, it's going to want to close on me. And I think it would be really nice if it had those infinite cams. That's what I'm going to call it. But yeah, those are my 3 wish lists. Let's check out the back. This EQS is equipped with the rear seat premium package. So what does that give you? You get 5-zone climate control. You also get, check this out, pull this down, armrest, drink holder. We hit a eject button and up it pops. You get your own little tablet here, right there. And it's going to display the same thing of what our screens are. And this is the rear entertainment package. This is on top of the premium package for the rear seat. So I can control the volume here. I can play certain things. We do have mini HDMI hookups there. You can use the audio system of the vehicle, which is a standard Burmester system. Sounds great. Or you can use supplied wireless headphones or pair your own with it. And pretty well everything you can do up front, you can do right here as well. If you want to put yourself into that Zen mode and go through those type of energizing modes, you can do that in the rear as well. So everyone is happy in this vehicle for sure. Now, comfort-wise, we have 5 inches of fore and aft for sliding the seat, and we can recline up to 18 degrees for the rear here. Let's move it back. You also get luxury headrests as well. You get those nice pillows here. I wouldn't mind being a passenger in the back of this at all. Headroom, a ton of headroom. Like that much headroom. I don't know if anyways, a lot. You can see how much is there. And a lot of legroom. But what I like is you get a lot of room for your feet. You get about 6 inches of height. So which is really nice. I can't stand when the seats are so low in the front and you can't put your feet under them. So that is also very nice. Wow, what did you think of that? Pretty impressive, right? We basically just scratched the surface. There's so much more we could talk about for the interior of this SUV, but we don't have that much time. So let's get to the exterior. First of all, excuse the little bit of a dirt that you see on this vehicle. It is below 0 right now. You can see there's still snow on the ground and we can't wash the vehicle. So I'm trying to keep it as clean as possible for you. So this SUV is based off of the same platform as the EQS Sedan. We did do a review of that, so make sure to watch that if you haven't. I'll leave a link in the video description. So since it shares the same platform, the dimensions aren't exactly the same, but the wheelbase is the same. And of course, the shape of the vehicle is the same. One thing they do share though, this does have the digital lights. Now, I don't think we really touched on that on our last video. These lights are absolutely wild. Every light module has 3 extremely powerful LEDs in each headlamp. The light is refracted by 1.3 million micro mirrors. You get 2.6 million pixels per vehicle. How is that for resolution? Essentially, it operates like a super high-powered projector. So not only does it shoot really cool animations when you're getting in or out of the vehicle, it actually writes things on it, but there's a lot of other features that it can do. Like using the navigation, it'll know if you're going up a hill or going down a hill, and it can direct the lighting to that. So you're not just, if you're going up a hill, it's not just pointing up toward the sky or the vice versa. Also, it can recognize when there's pedestrians out, it might be a real dark road, and it will highlight those pedestrians. Speaking of highlight, it'll highlight even construction zones and traffic signs. If you didn't see them, it'll project that on the road, give you a warning on there. It's pretty wild. Now, note that some of these features may not be available where you live. It all depends on your government regulations on smart lighting. Up front, you get a solid grille with a tri-star motif there. Like the sedan, this does not have a front trunk or a frunk. You can't even get in here. That's why they have the little flap here just to add your washer fluid. This fancy little flap here, that's where you add your washer fluid. Pretty cool, I guess. These here, 21-inch wheels. Luckily, you can actually get different wheels. I'm not a fan of aero wheels. I think it really detracts from the look of this vehicle. I just give me some regular wheels, but you know what? These are just covers, so these will come off. And if I owned it, I'd take them off. I know it's going to affect my range, but I'm good with that. All right, coming onto the side, we have power flush door handles. Yes. Sometimes they're not great in the wintertime, but they sure look good and they help keep the car nice and slippery. I like how it has Mercedes on it right there. And actually, when you actually walk up to the car, if it's locked, it will pop out proactively welcoming you. You'd have power folding mirrors. If you want to lock it, just touch there. There it goes, comes in, they fold. Now, we mentioned the shape. This is an SUV. It's going to give you a lot more room in the back, which we're going to talk about in a second here. But height-wise, you get 20 millimeters more height here, which is kind of good. If you're using it this as an SUV, maybe you're on the odd logging road, this is going to give you a little bit more clearance. In the rear on the passenger side is where you're going to find your charger. Up at pops, you do have your level 2 and your level 3 charging. You have 2 indicator lights there. Nice solid release there. You get a rear wiper and a full-length LED light bar that integrates right into the wrap-around tail lights as well. Standard is a power hatch. You can open it by hands-free by kicking or just push the emblem. That's also where the backup camera is, by the way. Up it comes. You have a lock button there. When you walk away, you can just hit that and walk away. Now, this is the biggest difference between this and the sedan. Look how much room you have back here. Just for a sample, I have my 31-liter Provoke camera bag here, and I have our large travel trunk. That fits right in, all the way, no problem. I could easily fit 3 of these lengthwise in there. So that's how big that is. So if we take everything out, behind the rear seats, you get 650 liters of cargo room, and if you need more room, you'd get standard power folding seats. Fold those down, it comes almost completely flat, and you are just shy of 2,100 liters of capacity for the seats down. All right, we are in our fully electric Mercedes EQS SUV. And as most all Mercedes, it's very, very quiet, except this takes it to the next level. Of course, there's no engine noise. However, you can get a pumped in noise and control what sound you want and how much of it that you'll hear as well. Here, I'm gonna hit the throttle so you can hear it a little bit. I'm not sure the mic is gonna pick it up. Let's hear. Yeah, it's good. It even has a little bit of sound when you're braking. Now, we're coming up to a stop light right now, and I gotta say, you know, I'm getting used to it now, but as soon as I got into this vehicle, the first thing I noticed were the brakes, and not in a good way, because they're really not very linear, and it's really hard to, I'm gonna try to explain it. They work, they're very powerful brakes. However, let's say you're going to press the pedal up to about halfway, if you're doing a nice gradual stop, but in between you might lift a little bit because you're adjusting your speed to the vehicle in front of you, and it's just going to grab, and it's hard to be smooth when you're braking. And once again, I have gotten used to it, but it's still not the best experience by any means at all. So, okay, put that aside. This thing has a lot of scoot. It's all-wheel drive. You have 516 horsepower and 631 pound-feet of torque. 0 to 100 kilometers an hour, just 4.7 seconds. This is a large vehicle, by the way, and it's heavy because you have a large battery, one of the largest out there. It's 107 kilowatt hours, and charging wise, it'll accept up to a 200 kilowatt charge. So going from 10 to 80% on a level 3 charger, if you can get a 200 kilowatt charger, it's going to run you 31 minutes to get to that state of charge. If you're using level 2 like I am at home, it's going to run you about 11 hours to go from 0 all the way to full. So that's pretty respectable considering the size of battery. You know, our long range Ioniq 5 is only 77 kilowatt hours, and this is 107. So 30 kilowatt hours more. That's a big jump. Ride quality, well, it feels like you are driving a couch. And that's not a bad thing. To me, I don't need this to be a sports car. It's a good cruiser, and you want to be comfortable. You get the massage going, get the heat going, get the tunes playing, heated steering wheels on. Everything feels so nice. Once again, wish we had the heated, panels, but hey, can't have everything, right? But it's just, it's a little bit floaty. You do have the air suspension, but it's nice. It's a nice ride. The steering is very light. Now, standard, you get 4.5 degrees of rear wheel steering on the EQS SUV or the EQS. If you go into the premium package, you get 10 degrees of rear wheel steering, and that extra 5.5 degrees makes a big difference. It cuts down the turning radius by about a meter. It's a real benefit if you are in tight quarters. For instance, when I'm parking at home, we have cars all over the street. I like to back in, and this literally seems more agile in tight spots than our Ioniq 5 even, which is quite a bit smaller than this, and that's due to that rear wheel steering. 10 degrees is a lot. So what's it going to cost you to get into a new EQS 580 SUV? Well, in Canada, it's going to cost you $158,000 to start. Remember, these are Canadian dollars. Check with your local Mercedes-Benz website where you are, because depending what your country is, you may have a different price. If you're comparing apples to apples, there's not a lot of competition out there in terms of, mid to large electric SUVs in the luxury segment. And this is definitely luxurious. You might want to put this in with the Model X from Tesla. Kind of similar, but kind of not. Yes, it's electric. It is all-wheel drive. This one does not have the Falcon doors. It doesn't play songs or fart or anything like that, but there's no comparison when it comes to the interior quality of what you get with a Mercedes-Benz. And like I said, pictures, the videos, they just don't do it justice of what this has, how it feels, the experience this is. It really is true first class. Would I buy one? Well, if I had the money, I would definitely consider it, especially over the regular EQS 580, the sedan. I think this just makes a lot more sense to most people. Everyone likes SUVs, and you just get a lot more practicality with this vehicle. You do get the reduced range though. So this range, you'll get 459 kilometers, but the EQS 580 sedan gets an additional 100 kilometers on top of that, even though it's riding on the same platform with the same powertrain, and that's because it is just so slippery, it's so aerodynamic, and that's the difference. It's all about the shape. Let me know, what do you think of this new EQS 580 SUV from Mercedes-Benz? Do you think Mercedes is on the right track with their electric path that they're doing? I can't wait to see what they have coming out in the future, for the smaller vehicles. Hopefully we can test that EQE pretty soon, which is a little bit smaller than this EQS. And yeah, I'm sure they're gonna have a lot more different plug-in options coming out in the future. Hope you enjoyed the video. See you on the next review.